South Australia has become the first state in the country to introduce a special driver licence specifically for ultra-high-powered vehicles, set to come in effect on the 1st of December. The UHPV is defined by authorities as having a power-to-weight ratio of at least 276 kilowatts per tonne, with a gross vehicle mass of less than 4.5 tonnes. But that's around 200 models that could fall into that category in Australia. Those wishing to obtain this U-Class licence have to complete a training course. It's online. We'll get to that. And also they face new fines of up to $5,000 if they deliberately disable the automated intervention systems, including ABS, emergency braking, stability and traction control. Why are they doing this? Well, the changes are being introduced in the wake of the death of a 15-year-old girl. She was struck and killed by a driver who lost control of his Lamborghini Huracan in 2019. Now, why New Zealand will not have the huge number of these UHPVs that Aussie obviously does due to population, should we consider implementing a similar system to ensure the safe operation of powerful vehicles on our roads? Well, joining me now is a good friend of the show. He also usually sets me straight on all things vehicular right from the start, from dogandlemon.com. Welcome in, Clive Matthew Wilson. Hello, Clive.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. I always set you up because I'm ready for you to go, oh, Leah, come on. But look.
Yeah, Leah, come on.
Oh, Leah, come on. No, Clive, it's lovely to talk to you again. You're a road safety advocate. You have been around, for ages. So you're the man I wanted to talk to. Okay, supposedly, I suppose you're going to tell me that we don't really need anything like that because we just don't have enough ultra-high-powered vehicles to warrant a special licence.
Well, what we could do if we were going to implement a scheme like that is simply to have the person demonstrate they're capable of controlling the vehicle to a driving instructor.
Love that. Yeah.
Interactive courses, come on, I could set that up. You could set that up. It ticks boxes without actually solving anything. And let me just, as usual, underline, just undo a lot of the assumptions behind this. First of all, every study ever done that I'm aware of, okay, and that's pretty much everywhere in the world, has shown that advanced driver skill training either doesn't work or has the opposite effect to what you're trying.
Oh, okay.
So this idea that we all need to learn skid control and then we could lower the road toll, in fact, is the opposite of the truth. Now, I know I'm so sorry that I always say challenging things.
No, Clive, that's why I love you on the show. No, but are you actually going against the likes of what Greg Murphy does?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, tell us,
let me just tell you something else. A study done in the 1960s, and they've probably done others, but I'm not aware of them, of racing drivers, right, who theoretically, Greg Murphy knows how to drive. Right, let's just give them credit where credit is due. But racing drivers as a group have a higher rate of accidents in the real everyday world than ordinary drivers.
Wow. Well, because I was going to say they take risks. They think they're probably bomb-proof. Yeah.
Well, or they just accept crashes as a part of normal racing driving.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but in fact, what it tended to do, the studies show that it tends to make the person overconfident in their ability. And anyway, the biggest factor, if you want to know what the biggest factor is in whether or not someone's going to die in a crash, is the level of education. So you can be from the poorest place in the country, but if you've got a decent education, you're 4 times as likely to survive if you've got a poor education, you're 4 times as likely to die in an accident than if you've got a good education. And by good education, I mean reading, writing, arithmetic. The real basic stuff, and that is the deciding factor. And that shocked me too. But that has in fact been well established since the 1950s. That why do people in South Auckland die more often than people in the wealthy suburbs? Well, the answer is because the people in the wealthy suburbs have a better education.
Maybe you need to explain it a little bit to me now. That's proving the education here, Clive. But why? You learn how to drive a car. I don't have to be a maths whiz to do it.
No, but you see, let's just supposing that you want to become an apprentice mechanic.
Yeah.
And what you're going to have to do is, first of all, turn up.
Yeah.
Right, and you're going to have to turn up regularly, and you're going to have to discipline yourself on those nights when things got a bit out of hand the night before, and still turn up, right? And then you're going to have to do technical training to explain, the difference between bore and stroke, and clearances on bearings, right? And in order to do that, you're going to have to learn to think in an abstract manner, right?
Right.
And in that process, you learn to be structured and you learn to be disciplined. And every culture has had this built in, since the year dot. I mean, Māori, for example, had an incredibly complex and effective medicinal system that was passed down from the older to the younger, and then kind of got mostly lost, and they're recovering it again now. But the very fact of learning that and going out into the forest and learning which stuff to collect and which stuff you shouldn't collect and what time of the year, and in that process you learn the structure that you need to get you through life.
Right, yeah, right? That makes sense,
People who die, wrap themselves around lampposts after a police chase, they tend to be all, there's a few just rich idiots in Lamborghinis, but most of them are poor in poor people's cars, and they've got no idea of what they're doing. They go around a corner a bit fast, they slide out of control, and there's another incredibly unhappy family that has to attend a funeral, which is just achingly painful.
So, again, I just want to go back to that advanced driver skill training, and you're saying that they just don't do anything shouldn't be done. So
waste of time.
So if I learnt how to control a skid, and this is apparently what they're, that's just one of the things they teach. How is that? How is that?
First of all, you're not going to learn that online.
No. I mean, if I went
a video game.
No, but I mean the ones that you actually go to the race, you go around the track, and these are the ones that Greg Murphy in that run. Well, he doesn't run it, but he's...
Let me tell you another road safety fact, and this is relatively easily established. At the point that you realise that you're a risk on the road, or at risk on the road, you're no longer a risk on the road. So
it's true.
This will be unbelievable to the people listening to this, but researchers went to a courthouse, right, time and time again, whenever there was a young man who just killed somebody on the road, right, and asked him what his level of driving skill was. And every single one of them, almost without exception, said they were above average drivers.